Nearly 11 people joined in our this thing Zoom, and there are also people watching. Give me 1 second. Good evening to everyone. This is Ashok Kumar from CMTI. We are happy to conduct the second session on infrastructure lecture series number 2. Today we have an expert speaker from the infrastructure industry. Welcome, sir, for our program. And he is basically a highway expert and airport specialist. And sir is going to give his insights about the infrastructure, that components. And today our focus will be mainly on the highways and then the airports infrastructure. And please invite your friends also. YouTube also in live is happening, and this session will be 1 hour, and we will give the feedback link. Sir, your the screen is not visible, sir. I think sir has left. Sandesh, can you check with him? Sandesh, I think accidentally yes left seems to be. Sandesh, are you available? Sandesh, are you available? Yeah, I will call sir.
आज पहला दिन है आपका। छोटा सा शगुन।
Sir is available. Bear, bear, bear with us 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. Sir is joining. I just spoke. His the power supply has gone, so inverter he has started. He will be available. Kindly bear with us. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, Ashok, you can start, Ashok.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Exactly
sir. Yes,
6
sir. Yes, sir.
o'clock, the DG changeover
Yes,
happens.
sir. You can. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand. And audience are available.
Yeah,
Kindly bear for the sorry for the inconvenience, and you can start the session, sir.
good. Uh, okay, around
Yeah.
14 are there in the Zoom. Okay, good
Yeah.
evening, everyone. And first of all, let me thank CMTI to kind of come up with this a very basic necessary thing in our upcoming developing country like India. Okay. In our last session, we have been discussing on the infrastructures. Okay. No infrastructure can be made without contribution of a civil engineer, and no human race can exist without an infrastructure. An infrastructure is ever demanding one, and for the country like India, where enormous potential is there, the country's economic growth is going up like anything. Lot of skilled youths are there, so infrastructure is going to have a very big push and very big employment opportunity. Maybe this may be the largest employee engaged activity next to agriculture. So the infrastructure is having a major contribution from civil engineers. So once you talk about infrastructures, what it comes to everybody's mind is roads, airports, railways, and some big ports. So collectively, we call it as transportation infrastructure. Transportation infrastructure is the biggest infrastructure which directly reaches out to public, which directly make impacts, a positive impact on the economic growth of the country. And any developed country, if you just imagine the kind of bridges they have, the kind of metro trains they have, the kind of highways they have. So if you think of infrastructure, transportation infrastructure is going to be the big thing. Okay. So we will now focus on the transportation infrastructure in our these sessions and in the upcoming sessions also. So as I told, the transportation infrastructures are foundational structures and systems for transporting people and goods.
Mm.
In the last session, Mr. Mohan Raj would have taken back into the history of that. The migration is the biggest need for a human race to exist. And like a globalization like now, the Gulf countries can't survive without getting a lot of goods from the other worlds. So it's an example I am saying. They may be having plenty of oil, they may not be having certain grains. So it should be moved from everywhere. So the world will not exist in a globalized world will not exist. It's not a kind of the primitive world where people can live within a 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. People has to migrate. They have to get so many things, and now we hold a lot of technology, a lot of technical gadgets, electronic gadgets. Without infrastructure, these things will never come to us. Transportation infrastructure is a critical ingredient in economic development at all levels of income. A good infrastructure, a good road, a good flyover, a good bridge serves to all kind of people, let it be a poor, rich, or whoever it is. There is a say that America is a rich country. It's not because that they have built good roads. Because of the good roads, America is a rich country now. Okay, it supports personal well-being and economic growth. Everybody understands how irritated and how drowned we feel if we just stand in a traffic signal for half an hour, if you just get into a traffic jam, and if you can't travel more than 50, 60 kilometers per hour, and everybody feels it. And transport infrastructure consists of fixed installations necessary for transport, which includes roads, railways, airways, waterways, and terminals. Okay, so this is just how the infrastructure is a part of our life. So going into the types of transported infrastructure, as we mentioned, roads, bridges, and flyovers. Nowadays, the metros are in the metro cities. Long flyovers are happening. The longest flyover in India, which serves as a highway, is mostly the Hyderabad one, which is around 15 kilometers. It's a totally 15-kilometer elevated road, Hyderabad. And railways, a lot of railway network has been done only by the British, but now our government have started in a big push. Going forward, we will discuss more about that. Rapid transit systems, apart from the passenger and rails, especially the rapid transit systems belongs to the metro cities where people has to be moved at a fast pace in a congested location for a shorter duration, for a shorter travel. And inland waterways, so many new things are coming. Recently, our Prime Minister has inaugurated a inland waterway somewhere in Gandhinagar. And airports, you know very well how uh, necessary an airport, because nowadays going abroad is just like that. Okay, it's not like 25 years back. And Tamil Nadu is better compared to other states. Also, we have 5 or 6 international airports, and there is a huge push for the next level in next tier 2 cities airport development. And before some 15 years and all, airport means we always used to curse our airports. You just see the Changi airport, you see the Denver airport, you see the Los Angeles airport. Now our airports are nothing less than that. It's much better than that. And terminals. What's terminal? And in the railways, as I told, there are passenger goods, passenger trains, goods trains. Now you have to understand there is a dedicated freight corridor. This freight means the goods. There are long railway routes which are being now implemented only for the freight, okay, for the goods. It will not mix up with the passenger trains. So the freight transportation cost has come down like anything. High speed rails. In the last session, some introduction has been given on the high speed rails. And terminals means, just to give a thrust on terminal itself, a kind of infrastructure on its own. The station developments, railway stations, metro stations, bus terminals, and seaports. So we will be now in this session discussing more on the roads. Of course, the part of the roads is bridges and flyovers and the airports. Okay. Road. What's a road? Everybody understands that. Okay. A rigid surface which is enabling for the traffic movement. The road. How the uh, based on the functional and the environmental need, the roads, some classifications of the roads are expressways, national highways, state highways, district roads, and rural roads. Okay, so going more into that, expressways. Okay, expressway is also a road which is a multi-lane road. Okay, and the expressways are mainly for connecting two major cities without passing through the existing towns or the livelihoods. It will be having a separate alignment, which is access control, where the people can travel non-stop without any intervention of the local towns or any other district roads or state highways connected to that, with very controlled access. There will be, if there is a uh, in the south, there are very less. I will say there is no kind of expressways at all. It is only national highways. Ashok, can you say any expressways in the south, in the Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra?
Yes, sir. Presently, Chennai Bangalore Expressway is about to start. It will.
About to come up. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah. Land acquisition is completed now. The tenders also about to release.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It will reduce 70 kilometers. The length.
Yeah.
The present length is roughly 350, and
Yes,
once the project is completed, it is going to be 280, and it is a fully of new alignment.
exactly.
Only it
So
starts.
why I raised this question, most of us would not have had an opportunity to travel in an expressway in Tamil Nadu or Karnataka or Andhra Pradesh and all. I will say the first of the modern expressway has come up between Mumbai and Pune somewhere in 1998 to 2000. It was built, and I was part of that. Uh, so The Mumbai to Pune is one of the very kind of a treacherous travel, a hilly terrain with so many traffic jams. If some truck gets breakdown, the traffic jam for not for hours, for days. The traffic will just stand still for one day or even 2 days. In the rainy days, it is hell. And the government has come up with a kind of very bold idea of making an expressway, fully green alignment, Mumbai to Pune expressway. Uh, and that was well done. And any whoever has traveled can understand. I'm not talking about the travel inside the city outskirt to outskirt. In 2.5 hours you can reach from Mumbai to Pune. And that was the one of the first modern expressways which had come up in the country. So several such expressways are going to come up. Like as Ashok told, Chennai to Bangalore is going to have such an expressway. And you just imagine where you can travel non-stop at 120 kilometers without intervention of any dogs, donkeys, bulls, and without intervention of any motorbike people, without intervention of autos. It will be very safe and very effective travel. Such expressways are coming up. It will have the entry and exit ramps for the people to enter and get out of the expressways at strategic locations, wherever highly populated, wherever it is needed, wherever some industrial locations are there. So it is going to come up in a very big way. And this expressway makes up approximately 1,583 kilometers as of 2013. But now, as I told you, it's going to come up in a big way, roughly around 90,000 kilometers of new expressways by 2022. It may take a little bit more time also, but they are all coming up. You can just see Delhi Noida direct flyway, Mumbai Pune expressway, which I mentioned, Agra Lucknow expressways. Okay, and expressway is a very big shift from the way we travel. Before 15 years, uh, Ashok or Sandesh can say if you have to travel a 400 kilometers, so it will be about a full day, 8 to 9 hours you have to spend. Now, with these expressways, you can travel at an average of the maximum speed limits are 120, but an average speed limit you can get 80 to 90 with some limited stoppings. And next, the classification of the roads or the national highways. You know very well about the NH, we call as NH, national highways, highways connecting major cities throughout the country. It runs to longer distances. NH7 most probably the longest national highway, which connects almost from the north to the down south Kanyakumari. Okay, more than 2,000 kilometers long. National highways are designated with NH, followed by highway number NH 45, NH 50, NH 2, NH 1, like that. And our country has around 1,42,000 kilometers of national highways as of April 2019. And if you compare with the total road network, all put together, expressways, highways, district roads, everything, it constitutes 3%. I'm talking about the length. Okay, this 1,42,000, 3% of the total road network, but it carries 40% of road traffic. So you can understand how congested and how demanding is to kind of ramp up the national highways. It carries the 40% of the road traffic in the country, and it constitutes only 3% of the total length of the roads available. So the government is any government, let it be this government, that government, any government, they are going to just focus on this development. That is going to set the tone of the country for the future. So they have taken a vow to develop up to 2 lakh kilometers, okay, in the coming up years, and a lot of programs have been done. We will just go into that a little bit. So NHAI now is the authority for national highways. Okay, the government, autonomous authority, National Highway Authority of India is the authority who are doing this development. Some of the national highways Normally, this will be 4 lane or 6 lane with some proper dividers and lighting arrangements. And wherever urban reaches are there, some service roads will be there. And wherever major crossings are there, underpasses will be there. We will see that. National Highway Authority of India is an autonomous government body responsible for the development, maintenance, and management of the national highways. They develop the road in various methods, which we will be studying, briefing in our next sessions. What kind of development model they adopt, and how they manage the roads, how they implement the projects. We will see that in the upcoming sessions. National Highway has been undertaking developmental activities under the National Highway Development Project. Okay, they have chalked out a master plan. It's called as NHDP in 5 phases, National Highway Development Project. Some of the major development programs which are done and being done, going to be done, are these are the things. They call it as Golden Quadrilateral. NSEW means North South East West Corridor, Bharat Mala Pariyojana, Port Connectivity, Char Dham Highway. Okay, we will have a small detailing of these kind of projects. Golden Quadrilateral. The name itself it says that. Okay, GQ, a quadrilateral, which is connecting the 4 major capital cities. Okay, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata. It all started somewhere 2002, 2001, somewhere it started, and it went up in a good way, and it has changed the total face of our nation. Now people can easily plan for going by road from Chennai to Delhi. It's a very safe travel, and it's a possible travel also. Previously, you have to spend in the train also you have to spend more than 4 days, 3 days like that. By road also it is possible, especially the movement of the goods has kind of tremendously changed because of this Golden Quadrilateral. This is almost completed. The north south east west corridor is the corridor which connects the north to south, east to west, cutting across the country. Okay, this is also more than 75-80% completed, and it is functioning well. Bharat Mala Pariyojana is the another big scheme which is being implemented and which has kick-started. The implementation has started, the contracts are being awarded, the constructions have started. This is a centrally sponsored and funded project of the Government of India. The total investment for 83,677 kilometers is estimated at 5.35 lakh crores. Okay, making it the single largest layout for a government road construction scheme. And this is going to happen now. So by implementing this is going to enable and benefit of other key government India schemes such as Sagarmala, dedicated freight corridors, like in the railway, there are going to be dedicated freight corridors on the roads also, where only commercial vehicles will run, no passenger vehicles will run. Industrial corridors, Udan RCS, BharatNet, Digital India, and Make in India. All these schemes are going to get enabled and enabled by these kind of projects. Bharatmala will significantly boost the highway infrastructure. Once this Bharatmala is done, the entire country will be under a very easy reach. The travel will be much more safe and much more effective. They will raise the present 6 national corridors to 50 national corridors. Okay, 6 national corridors and 44 economic corridors. Economic corridors are strategic locations which are uh, identified for the future development. As I told, it will raise the 40% freight to 80% freight on the national highways. Okay, the goods will travel very seamlessly, and once it will directly reflect on the any common man. The rates will come down, the efficiency will go up. It will increase the districts. No more only crowded in the cities. It will apart from the other mid-level cities and other locations also will develop. Similarly, state highways. So these are the highways connecting major cities throughout a state. They also connect with national highways or state highways of neighboring states. State highways are designated by SH. You can see, you can observe while traveling. The milestones will be covered with the state highways, I think blue, yes. And the national highways, the milestones will be painted with yellow on the top. So as of March 2016, the total length of the state highway was 1,76,166 kilometers. And they are going to have a big improvement in the coming days. State governments have the authority and responsibility to build the state highways. We'll go a little fast on this. The district roads. So these are the roads connecting taluka headquarters and major rural areas to district headquarters. They also connect with state highways and national highways. District roads are subclassified as MDR and ODR. In the roads, if you travel, it may be written in the milestones, MDR, ODR, major district roads and other district roads. The Jilla Parishads have the authority and responsibility to build the district roads. Apart from this is going to be the biggest push because the villages form the backbone of our country. If the villages are not well connected, the country's economy will not kind of evenly distributed and it is not going to help for the inclusive growth. So the rural roads form a substantial portion of the country's road network, forming 70.23% of total roads. As of March 2016, the percentage of unsurfaced rural roads to the total rural road length was 66%. Means 66% of the rural roads are unsurfaced. So it's not an all-weather road. You could have seen in several TV channels a lot of tragic stories that people cannot travel by road for the right time. They have to carry the patients, and even the dead bodies being carried in the hand. There is no proper all-weather roads. So all these things are going to be addressed. So these are being done with the scheme of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. If any rural road, a village road you would travel, you can see the boards displayed on the side of the road with a kind of symbol showing Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. The details will be written there. You can just have a look. The effort has aimed to build all-season single-lane asphalted roads to connect India's rural and remote areas. Okay, that's a very big push. It will have all. Mostly, we all hail from village, from generations put together. So any village will be connected with a all-weather road to the proper road network of the country. Okay. So apart from the functional classification, the roads are technically classified based on the what kind of pavements it's having. You know, the pavement is the top layers, the top crust, the exposed layers. Okay, the bottom layers most probably it is always same. The earthen layers, which are called as embankment, subgrade, and the other layers, base course, and the pavement layers will differentiate based on the what kind of pavements being implemented. The selection of this and the suitability of this and all going through the next sessions we will discuss in detail. Flexible pavements are made with bituminous tops. Everybody knows the bitumen, black colored tar we call okay. And the rigid pavements are made up with the concrete tops, okay, which is called as PQC, pavement quality concrete. It's not like a normal concrete. It's something like M40 concrete, minimum of 250 to 350 or 400 mm thickness based on the traffic and the other kind of parameters based on the design it's being done. You can see the typical section of that. Okay. The flexible payments and rigid payments. Flexible payments are asphalted road, rigid payments are concrete roads. The base layers, what are the functions, how it is to be done, we'll talk more technically in the coming sessions. So how a rigid payment and a flexible payment behaves. The flexible payment, you can see the pictorial representation. When the load is applied, the load is distributed in a bulk form to the much below lower layers, okay, which means that the lower layers also should be having proper strength, properly constructed. And in the rigid payment, if you see, the load is uniformly distributed over a larger base. The deflection is very less. The load distribution will not be much to the lower layers because of the rigid pavement. Okay, just to say that definitely the rigid pavement costs more than the flexible pavement. It's roughly 2.5 to 3.5 times more, but the life cycle performance will be more, the maintenance will be less, but it's not affordable at any locations, every locations. There are other constraints also, which we'll discuss in the futures. Okay. Apart from the road uh, constituents, what constitutes road we have seen, what features the road should have, okay? What and all the road should have. Right of way is the width of the land acquired for the road along its alignment. Okay, it should be adequate to accommodate all the cross-sectional elements of the highway and may reasonably provide for future development also, which is always a biggest constraint, a biggest issue in our country, because most of the roads which are developed or existing are passing through a lot of towns and cities where right-of-way constraints are there, and acquisition of the land now after the roadside in all developments have been done. It's a big struggle, but still, at least now government is doing wherever they are going for green alignment. What Ashok was telling now that Chennai to Bangalore, they will acquire land in such a way that the future development also can be done without going for further acquisitions. Okay, so our country is struggling in that, but we have come up a long way. So generally, the national highway will have in the rural reaches 30 kilometer either side, that is 30 meters. 60 meters of highway, 60 meters of the road width is an ideal right of way. For the to start with, a national highway will be done in a 4-lane road. For the future 6, who knows, maybe in another 5-6 years, the 6 lanes also will not be enough. We have to go for the 8 lanes. Okay. So apart from this, there should be a divider, there should be some drain corridors, there should be a utility corridor. We'll remodify this drawing showing utility corridors because the right of way should accommodate all the future services also. We have to lay a lot of cables nowadays, and we have to have plantations. There should be a divider in between. The roads should be properly divided with a median in between for the safe travel. So the right of way should have sufficient width to accommodate all these features. Okay. We will go for some typical road cross section. You would have studied in the syllabus what's a cross section. A typical cross section in the road. A typical cross section is the guide for the site engineer to understand the road composition and the work. And the typical cross section is a type of cross section, and once you start the work at the field, we have to make the working cross sections also. Working cross sections are made specific for say every 10 meters or 20 meters, which we will discuss more in the coming sections. So this is how a typical road looks in a diagrammatic way. Road in embankment. Embankment is what? Fill. The road, you can't just build the road on the existing ground. The grade has to be properly designed. It should be just above so that the future development comes up on the sides, and it should not be flooded, and it should have a sufficient bearing capacity also for the ground. So normally the roads will be done in the plain ground with some uh, elevation by filling earth into that. Okay, so you can see the drawing. The carriageway, the black top one is the carriageway and the pavement. On the side, shoulders. A shoulder, the technical meaning is just like a human body, a shoulder which is giving a lateral confinement to the road. The shoulders will be of two types, paved shoulders and unpaved shoulders. Paved shoulder will be consisting of same crust with bituminous tops, and the unpaved shoulder will be of selected soil. The road sides will be trimmed properly for the stability, and there will be a berm, there will be a drain corridor, and there will be utility corridor also in the berms. Because of the terrain, if you have to travel in a very undulated terrain, a hilly terrain, everywhere you can't fill up and make the road. If the terrain is very high, very much undulated, you have to go for the cut also. Okay. So this is one such typical section showing the cut. The top where the berm or the top of the soil bank is the ground. The ground was cut down in a proper shape and a formation is made and the pavements are done. So the roads will be done in the cuts also, not needed to always fill up and make up the road based on the horizontal profile. We call it as horizontal profile because if you have to have a smooth and efficient travel of 80 to 90 kilometers or 100 kilometers per hour, the heavily loaded vehicle should have a proper grade to travel. They can't, there is a technical word called gradient. The ruling gradient cannot be more than 3% for the normal road. For a hill roads, it may be 5%. But the hill roads, you can see that the goods vehicle will struggle to kind of climb the roads. So to maintain the grade, several locations we have to cut the terrain and make the road also. So that's a typical section of the road in the cutting. An urban road, okay, the national highway will pass to the urban cities also. Okay, the median is there everywhere in the cut or the fill also, and the traffic lanes, there will be a drain, there will be a walkway, and one more feature also can be added on this, the service roads will be there. Okay, for the local traffic to move without coming into the collusion with the national highway traffic. The high speed corridor will be different, the service lanes will be different, which is common sense, which everybody knows that. What I am saying, whatever I am saying, you have to just relate it common sense with the practical aspects. I am just giving the terminologies which we studied. So without kind of just mugging up, you just relate it. A service road will be there in the urban areas for the local traffic to move. No need to come into the highway. No need to pay for tolls. All those things. A typical rural section. Uh, Generally, rural roads will be without dividers. It can be a single lane of 4.5 meters, 5 meters, 3.5 meters. A minimum carriageway which is 3.5, so plus some shoulders. So at least 4.5 to 5 meter blacktop a village road should have. These are mainly the roads which I told Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Underpass. All this can be called as a grade separator also. In Bangalore, there are several grade separators are there. When the road has to travel in a urban location and one more road has to be made, okay, if they have to be separated by the grade, by their elevation, okay, this is a typical one. There will be retaining structures and there will be a road on the top grade and on the bottom grade. So just to give a glimpse of that, this drawing is given. An underpass in an urban area will look like this. And nowadays you would have seen it's a mini flyover or overpass you call. Wherever national highway is going to come in junction with some major district roads or some big crossings, village roads, So the national highways, the high-speed passengers should not have any pollution. They have to travel safely without reducing the speed. So what is needed for that? There should be a separate way for the or these rural roads or the junction roads. Okay. So mostly, if you see the national highway will be elevated, it will go on the top, and the rural roads will be at the bottom. So there should be an approach ramp. You have to elevate it gradually without reducing the speed and without giving constraints for the travelers. So mostly you would have studied the reinforced earth wall technology. The reinforced earth wall technology is being done uh, in place of traditional retaining walls, which is having difficulty in space constraint and the sequence of the work. So we will study more on this in our upcoming sessions. So with the RE walls on the side, these are all called reinforced earth walls. The roads are elevated roughly around 8 to 9 meters so that the big buses and trucks can pass under for the crossings and the highway can travel on the top. Okay, what's going ahead? In April 2020, the government set a target of constructing roads worth rupees 15 lakh crores, okay, in the next 2 years. Okay. Then you can imagine what a kind of tremendous development it is going to have all across the country. Government of India has allocated rupees 111 lakh crores under the National Infrastructure Pipeline for financial year 2019 to 20. The road sector is likely to account for 18% of capital expenditure over financial year 2019 and 25. Because this is a very wise and a needed investment. Every government understands that. They don't see it as why we have to spend more. This is an investment which is going to come up as a return in a big way. And this is going to have a lot of skilled people to be involved in this to build such a huge infrastructure in our country. Under the Union Budget 2021, the government has allocated rupees 91,823 crores under the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways for this current year. Okay, all these numbers are just to explain. Let's not have any kind of debate or accuracy on these numbers. Just to say how big the road infrastructure is going to be. As per NHA's timeline, 23 new highways, including network of expressways. This is going to be the big game changer of how the country travels, the expressways. You just travel in Mumbai Pune Expressway, you will feel different. Luckily and fortunately, the Bangalore to Chennai Expressway is almost going to come up. The land acquisition is over. Tenders are going to open. Maybe after 4 or 5 years, you can travel from Chennai to Bangalore in straight 2.5 hours. Okay, which cannot be imagined before 10 years ago. Very safely also. Okay. So like that, several expressways are going to come up. There is a long roadmap for dedicated expressways. These are dedicated expressways. The major thing is that apart from the speed of the travel, this will be very safe and pleasant travel. No need to worry for the bulls and donkeys and the dogs to cross, the human crossings, two-wheelers and autos. It will be a very safe road. Okay. Ashok,
Sir, we can have the Q&A now, sir.
yeah, I before going into airports will finish in 15 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Just to kind of know how the people are absorbing on this.
Yeah, nearly 150 plus people are there in YouTube. 175 is there now.
Hmm.
You can go for another 15 minutes, not an issue.
We'll go with the airports.
Yeah, yeah, please.
Okay. Good. Okay, the next biggest thing in the infrastructure is the airports. Okay, the air travel is becoming more and more affordable nowadays. Before 15 years, It's not possible. Once the so many revolutionary things have come up, Deccan Airs and so many Boers and all those things have come up, you can travel from kind of Bangalore to Chennai. If you plan, there are so many schemes are also available nowadays, and in a average cost of 2,500 rupees, you can travel. Okay, so several such kind of infrastructures are going to be developed. So why it is possible only from Chennai to Bangalore now? It can be from Chennai to so many other cities. Okay, within Karnataka also, maybe from what is it, Davangere to Bangalore, from Bangalore to already for Bellary there is an airport, something like that. Once the so many infrastructure is coming up and the uh, uh, these new companies are coming up with revolutionary schemes to reduce the cost of the travel. Only infrastructure is needed. Okay, it should have an infrastructure for the flight to stand, take off, and land, and there should be a terminal for the people to come and wait, do check in, all those things. You know about how an airport. So here we will discuss more on the airfield infrastructure. Uh, Generally, airports are called as airside and landside. Landside means terminals. Before that, some approach roads, all those things. Airfield means you can see once you get from the security, once you get into the from the security, the other side is the airfield where no public will be allowed. It's a secure place. Okay, airfield infrastructures. This is how a typical runway looks. I'm just saying a primitive runway, a long strip of road. It's a road only, as it is a long strip dedicated for only flight. It is called as runway. A long strip of road with turnpads on the ends for the flight to go and turn and to start the takeoff and all, because uh, the direction of the takeoff will be based on so many parameters like wind speed and the geographical conditions, all those things. So there will be turnwards, and from the runway, the aircraft should come to the stand, which is called as apron. So it should have a cross taxiway where the runway goes from the runway to the apron, the aircraft. That's called taxiway, taxiing. Okay, like how you taxi your car. It's a taxiing way. So taxiway, it is called as taxiway. And the standpiles are generally of rigid pavements, and this long strip of the runway will be of flexible pavement, which we have seen in the top. And the taxiways also will be flexible pavement, and the aprons will be of rigid pavements where the aircraft stands because of so many reasons, because of the wear and tear, and because of the oil spillages, so many other issues. Because in the asphalt road, if any oil spillage happens, it gets deteriorated. So mostly rigid pavements are done in the air. Okay. A typical network of runway and taxiway. Why the first figure which I told you is for a kind of a limited operation. Once in a hour a flight comes, it just has to get out, go to the taxiway, go into the airport. Now, if you have to have the runway clear for continuous landing and continuous takeoff, you just imagine your 10 flights are going to arrive in a particular time of within 30-40 minutes. The runway has to have it, serve for that. And in the meantime, it has to serve for the takeoffs also. So what has to be done? The runway should be cleared quickly. The aircraft cannot take off or land in any other location apart from runway because that only will have proper infrastructure. But it should be cleared very fast and efficiently. So you would have experienced the pilots will be keep talking with the uh, control tower whether they can enter into the runway. They will just say the runway is clear, you enter. Once they enter, they have to take off and clear the runway in 2 minutes. So once they land also, they have to clear. So for that only, a network of taxiways are being implemented. You can see in the end, there are connecting taxiways. And in the middle also, you can see in an angular form. These are all taxiways. And that rapid exit is written there, no? Rapid exit taxi. The aircraft can get out of the runway at a faster time with much high speed instead of traveling up to the end of the runway, slowing down and turning out. So it will be positioned, the alignment will be in such a way that the aircraft gets out of this main runway something around 90 to 100 kilometers per hour speed, okay, into the taxi, so that the runway is cleared for the next takeoff or land. When the aircraft lands, it roughly, based on the type of the aircraft, it lands at between 250 to 350 kilometers per hour speed. From that speed, it should come down to 100 or 90 kilometer and get out of the runway. Okay. This is one of the biggest airport in our country, Delhi International Airport. This is the satellite image of that. As I have been telling you, it has got network of runways and taxiways. On the top side, you can see two big black strips, which were two runways. Originally, it was there, and in the year 2008 to 2010, the bottom one was developed fully, a new runway with network of taxiways. There is a parallel taxiway, there are twin taxiways connecting taxiways, and a long taxiway connecting to the other side of the airport, which was opened for the Commonwealth Games in 2010. I think, yes, 2010 were the Commonwealth Games, and further development is also happening. So this is how a runway taxiway network will appear if you see from the top. Okay. Okay, like roads, the runways also are classified, okay, based on the width of the runway and what kind of aircraft it can accommodate. You may be hearing about A320, A380, Boeing 747. Several types of ATRs are there. Several kinds of airports are there. And there are some huge cargo airports are there. Okay, Beluga, Antonov, they're all very huge airports. So the everywhere you cannot build such a big runway. So based on the need, based on the affordability, the runways are constructed. So the classification of the runway, this is being told to you just to know how the runways are classified. Okay, based on the width, and there is a code number. You can see the code 1, 2, 3, 4, and the code letter A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, and the Delhi airport and the Bangalore airport, the new runway which is made, they are all called 4F, code number 4F, because they are 60-meter wide and number 4. And based on the functional facilities, on the right hand side, you can see the runways, what kind of function it offers. Okay, precision approach, non-precision approach, non-precision approach, and precision approach. Non-precision approach were older airports. Nowadays, nobody is going to develop that unless otherwise if it is going to be some private operated or it is going to be for some glider planes or helicopters. All being big developments are happening only in the precision approach runway. In that also further classifications are there, category 1, 2, 3. And this category 1, 2, 3 is based on the lighting facilities which a runway offers. You would have seen in the runway in the airports, there are several multicolor lights will be there in several directions. Okay, there is a big science behind that. They are all called AGL, airfield ground lighting. Category 1, 2, 3, based on the type of lights, the frequency of lights, the capacity of the lights. So the more sophisticated one is category 3, precision approach. Okay, we will be discussing in the further sessions more about that. You can see how a category 3 runway will look in the night. A category 1 runway will not look like this. A 2 runway will not like this. This is 3. In the 3 also it is subdivision B. Just to tell you quickly, 3B means in the Bangalore also in the last season we suffered with fog. There were some foggy days where the runway cannot be operated. So if the runway is equipped with the 3B system, it can operate at zero visibility. Without seeing anything also, the pilot can land the aircraft and take off the aircraft. The zero visibility operational facility it will offer. Okay. Further to that, an airport infrastructure, it's not only a black strip of road, not only stand, it should have several other aids also. Okay, as I told you, it's not the full of civil engineering, but the civil engineering has to make all kind of foundational bases, all kind of systems, okay, and to get that technology implemented in. So a civil engineer should have something about everything. I'm not saying that everything about everything, something about everything. So in that sense only, I'm just taking you through this just to know. Okay, if you just, it's not that I am doing only a black strip which is called as runway. Okay, yeah, airfield infrastructure should have navigational aids which are installed, which we call as radar, sensors, or what antennas, whatever it is that. Why? Because the the journey has to be very safe and very effective and efficient use of runway. So a civil engineer should know a little bit of about all these things. What a if a aircraft has to travel, what it should done. On the left hand side, you can see it should take off. Okay, it should climb up, departure, and they will travel at a standard height. They will cruise mostly at the 10,000 feet at a speed of 700 to 900 kilometers per hour based on the aircraft types. And they have to kind of come down. Okay, they call it as some technical term. They will say the air hostess used to announce, and they have to land. Okay, so all these things has to happen. There should be a technology working for that. For implementing this technology, the civil infrastructures has to be in place. Okay, so what are those? Just to give a brush of that, there are something called localizers which are being installed at the end of the runway. If anybody has a chance to visit runway, see that this will be red colored, some stands like thing, and this is a wind cone showing the direction of the wind. And this is a tower surface movement radar, SMR, they call as SMR. And there will be a structure like this on the side of the runway. Once whenever you land, you can see in that. This is called DVOR. DVOR is Doppler VHF. VHF means very high frequency omnipresent radar. This will help for the cruising of the aircraft. It will help for the cruising in the remote areas. And on the last one is the glide path antenna, which you know everywhere you would have seen. It's an antenna looking like a mobile tower antenna, which helps in the landing of the aircraft. Whether the aircraft is gliding down, it should glide down. You know, the aircraft cannot just come down vertically. It should glide down in a very proper angle so that it smoothly lands. Okay, so for that, this infrastructure helps. The glide path antenna helps for that. Okay, there are so many interesting things about this. So we will go into some details in the upcoming sessions to the extent how a civil engineer should know what kind of things he has to contribute on. So, so what's going to happen in the airports?
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
Sir, how many slides more there, sir?
two,
Two.
two.
Okay. You will take another 5 minutes, na?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Please continue. Wonderful lecture.
See, our country is also going to kind of focus on this because affordability of the flying has come down. It's not like future past things. Okay, everybody can travel now. Okay, so the infrastructure is going to be developed for that. So the present finance minister has announced that 100 additional airports will be developed in the country by 2024. So I'm just reproducing the statement. Whether it will be 100 or 70 or 80, it is based on how it's going to happen. Okay. The Airports Authority of India, like National Highway Authority of India, the Airport Authority of India holds responsibility for the management 136 Indian airports and 6 other airports which are being operated on. What is PPP model? We will explain in the further sessions. The airports are being developed in the public-private partnership model also, how it works, what kind of relationship and all. So upcoming major airports, there are big airports going to come up. Jewar Airport is near Delhi, Navi Mumbai International Airport near Mumbai, and Vijayawada, and in Sri Permandur near Chennai. These are all going to come up. They are all in the final stages. Master plans are done, land acquisitions are done. Only some government policies has to be finalized. And Jewar Airport, just to give you how big that airport will be, the airport will be situated approximately 60 kilometers away from Delhi and will be built for rupees 20,000 crores across 4 phases. And it will be developed in PPP model. The proposed plan is to build two runways by 2023, and in the future it is going to be with 6 runway, and this will be the biggest and the largest, one of the largest airport in the world also. This is the master plan. Okay, just to show some uh, kind of a picture skew runways. I am just showing how the runways are done in what kind of given conditions. Good. So it's going to be very interesting in the infrastructure. And one big thing is that uh, in your lifetime as a civil engineer, once you get associated with these kind of projects, no, that will make you very proud. You can tell stories to our next generation. I was doing this, that. It will be very interesting. Good. All the best. Ashok.
Thank you, sir. The time also we have maintained and wonderful lecture. And there is around 250 plus viewers in the YouTube, and they get enough knowledge. I was chatting with them only. Lot of insights were there, and the session was wonderful. And next session we have planned for audience has appreciated your program like anything. And there was a wonderful positive comments from the audience. I can read, and you can also read later. Their feedback forms I have shared in the YouTube. They will fill up the forms, and the forms also will be shared with you. And the audience, the next session will be, yeah, the next session will be on next Saturday evening 6 p.m. We have planned on the railways and the metros and other infrastructure. This infrastructure series will be continuing for 16 sessions. It will be there, and for every session who are attending, you will get a e-certificate also. Not only just get the certificates, we sincerely request you to go through the content, and you can take the screenshots of the uh, content, and you can learn on your own. And we will be launching a infrastructure course shortly from December 1st. The details will be available. This will be a regular course where you will get more knowledge on the infrastructure field. Who are interested, you can take up that course. The details will be available in public platform very soon. And the interiors, we are already doing the session. Yesterday the first session was there from companies like Live Space, Home Lane, and the leading companies. They are conducting this program. They are attending this program, and they are giving their insights about this industry. And next program after this parallel program will be on green building series. We have planned that also will be having series of lectures on the green buildings. The CMTA will be the one-stop solution for you for all the programs, whatever there. In the lot of people asked about building information modeling and all. We are conducting this program, the building information modeling also. You can explore our website www.cmtaonline.com. Short-term courses are available. You can gain your knowledge. The knowledge only will make you great, and enough opportunities are available in all the sectors. You can choose your sector. Earlier days we didn't know whatever was available we get into. After then we could not able to change our sectors once we entered the job. But you have the privilege. The CMTA is giving a preview about all about the construction industry, from residential, commercial, industrial, airport, infra, interior, green buildings, everything we wanted to be, including the building information modeling. And yesterday we were conducted a program. Last 3 days it was about drones. Drones are being used in the construction. You should know about the drones. That adds value to your certificate. And these projects are being monitored with the latest technologies, including the design with the BIM, building information modeling, and the clash analysis. And the syllabus given in the college is not at all enough. It may be useful for up to 50% of the extent. Rest you have to acquire from someone, or the seniors, or from the social media, or from somewhere you have to acquire. That only will help you. We are doing soft skill training also, and we are launching the upcoming series will be, there will be a workshop on 26th to 30th on construction finishes, 5 days workshop on Zoom and Google Meet. It will be there. Those paid workshops are different. Who are interested, you can watch the program details in our website, in all our social media. It will be available. We are there in this particular training past 3 years, and nearly 5,000 plus students we have trained during the college day itself, so that once they come out of the college, they become employable. And you no need to ask the employers to request for the employment. If you have enough knowledge, they are ready to take it. They will not ask 2 years experience. Present condition is they are asking 2 years of experience. If the CMTA candidate goes and attend the interviews, he is able to crack the interview within the given time, because he knows what is happening in the industry. In the third year of the engineering itself, our training starts in the colleges. We are associated with 30 plus engineering colleges in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. We are online to get connected with a lot of people. I have seen the people across from India and around the world. They are there in the connected this thing. And thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. Thanks the audience.
Yeah,
I
sure.
should not take. Yeah, yeah. Tell me, sir.
It's good, but uh, I think going forward, okay,
Yeah.
lecturing, because there is a kind of good crowd available on the other side. So how to get connected with them in a little bit way that you think of in the future, maybe 30-minute session and 10 minutes a compulsory question and answer session you will have, so
Yes,
that
sir.
some kind of liveliness will be there. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
In
are
the
going
next
to
sessions, we will kind of break it like that, 30 minutes, and
yeah.
some 5 to 10 minute interactions, so
We,
that we
we
can,
will plan for that, sir.
yeah, we'll connect with them a little.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
For
thank
our
you.
audience, we are signing out. Thank you. Thank you. All the best.